Hello friends, I am Pramod Deshkari. In this video, we are going to analyze the questions which were asked in MPSC Civil Engineering examination for the topic Elements of Electrical Engineering. There are 4 topics: DC circuits, AC circuits, 3-phase supply and single-phase transformer. Topic wise, total 10 questions are there. Out of that, 2 questions for DC circuits, 3 questions for AC circuits and 3-phase supply, and 2 questions for single-phase transformer. If we go for these particular questions, so there are so many different patterns in which that question was asked. Rather than going for the number of questions, number of MCQs, you should go for the operating principle, key terms, then specific points from our syllabus. Then only it is easy to just build up n number of questions. For example, suppose one question is there, then go for each and every options also. Not only for the correct option, you should go for the other options also, because that options may not correct for this question, but that is also key term for another questions. In this particular question paper, the patterns are different. For example, the first type of question, we just have a look of that particular part. In that particular question, the question is Thevenin theorem can be applied to the network containing, and there are 4 options. The first option is passive elements only, second option active elements only, third option linear elements only, and the fourth one all of above. If you go for this particular question, how to study this question? You should go for each and every key term word given in the question. For example, the question start with Thevenin theorem. Once you read the Thevenin theorem, that n number of things should be in your mind. What is Thevenin theorem? Operating principle of Thevenin theorem, where it is applicable, what kind of components are there in Thevenin theorem, how we convert the complete circuit, that is Thevenin circuit, into equivalent Thevenin circuit, that is nothing but the VTH and RTH, equivalent resistance Thevenin and equivalent voltage Thevenin. It is applicable to the network. What is network? And the options are passive elements only. Then what is the meaning of passive elements? Passive elements are elements which are capable to change the characteristic of given signal. Resistors, capacitors, one can say. But here mention is passive elements only. That only word is very important. Thevenin theorem consists of, or we can say that network containing number of specific elements but not passive elements only. That means this is not a correct answer. The second one is active elements only. Again, only is very important. What is active elements? Active elements are nothing but those elements which are capable to change the characteristic of given signal. It can produce a gain. So these are nothing but the active elements. Transistors, diodes, these are nothing but the specific elements under active. Again, it is not a correct answer, because Thevenin theorem is not applied only the network which contains only the active elements. The third one is a linear elements only. Then what is the meaning of linear element? Linear elements are nothing but the elements which remains constant with respect to time. That means this particular option is a correct option, because Thevenin theorem can be applicable to the linear elements only. All elements comes under linear elements. That means the elements which remains constant or which value remains constant with respect to time. And as only one option is correct among these 3 options, the last option, that is all of above, is also not a correct option. This type of question may we build by using a number of types of theorems. There are so many theorems in DC circuits. The same question can be built up by using that type of, we can say that technology, or that type of, we can say that specific part. Okay, so this is a one pattern of the question. So there are certain theorems and some specific part, or we can say that some objectives are related with that theorem, it is given in the question. So this is nothing but the first question. Now another type of question from previous exam, we just go for that particular part. Here the question is, when a Q factor, again key term, quality factor, when a Q factor of a circuit low, then when a Q factor of a circuit is low, then, and the options are, power factor of the circuit is low. Second, impedance to resistance ratio, Z to R ratio of the circuit is low. Bandwidth is 0, and none of the. Again, we just have the same look for the specific MCQ. Q factor. What is Q factor? 1 upon power factor is nothing but the quality factor. Then what is power factor? Power factor is nothing but the cos phi. That means Q factor is equal to 1 upon cos phi. And what is cos phi, or what is Q factor? Q factor is nothing but the ratio. Q factor is a ratio of impedance to the resistance. Again, definition of impedance, definition of resistance, definition of Q factor, definition of cos phi, definition of power factor. You should go through this particular thing. That will definitely build n number of such type of MCQs. Then what is Q factor? Q factor is Z upon R. If Q factor is low, Z upon R should be low. And what is Z upon R? Impedance to resistance ratio. It is given in option second. So in second option, impedance to resistance ratio of the circuit is low, and that is nothing but the correct option for this particular question. So this type of questions can be created by using a different definitions, different key terms, different objectives given in our 4 topics, what we discussed earlier. Okay, now we'll just go for the next type of pattern. The next question in the same exam, the pattern of the question is somewhat different. The purpose of oil in high rating transformer is for. There are 4 topics or 4 options given in that particular MCQ. First one, lubrication of core. Second, insulation. Third, cooling of transformer. And the fourth one, providing a fuel for operation. Out of these 4 options, A, B, C and D, which are the correct one? Which are related with the MCQ? This is the pattern of the question. That actual options are, the first one, only A and B are true. Second, only B, C and D are true. Third one, only B is true. And the last one, only B and C is true. So this is nothing but the one specific pattern of the question. MCQ is there, 4 options are there, and out of that 4 options, you should select any one, any 2, whatever the specific right option, you should select that option. N number of questions can be created by this particular pattern. So in this specific question, the purpose of oil in high rating transformer is used for, or we can say that is for, there are 2 applications, 2 uses of the high particular oil in high rating transformer, and these options are, it is used for insulation. Why oil is used as an insulation in the transformer? That is again very important point. So in that particular part, it is used as an insulation for the magnetic part of the transformer, electromagnetic part. Then C option is cooling of a transformer. Again, oil is used for cooling of a transformer. Whatever the heat generates during the operation of transformer, that is cooled by using oil. So that means 2 options are correct. So you should select that sequentially form the particular option, correct option in that question. So here only B and C are true, and that is nothing but the option 4. Okay. So here this is nothing but the specific pattern. The next pattern, which is not or we can say that that type of question is not asked in this question paper, but that is again a popularly we can say that develop or design the question pattern. In that particular question pattern, question is there is a two group 1 and group 2. In group 1 there may be a different theorems, Thevenin theorem or any another 4 types of theorems, and on specific group 2 side there are the circuits, bilateral circuit, unilateral circuit, or any another kind of circuit or definition of circuit networks. You have to match the theorem side and the specific type of network and match the correct pair from group A and group B. On this particular pattern also there are so many chances to build the number of questions. Okay, that particular type of question is not asked in this one, but that is nothing but the one pattern. Now we'll just go for the next question. In this particular question, I just read the question. The power in 3-phase circuit is measured by 2 wattmeter method. Again, you should go for each and every keyword in the given specific question. The power in 3-phase circuit is measured by 2 wattmeter method. The reading indicated on the 2 wattmeters are W1 and W2 respectively. The total power in the circuit is not given by. This not is very important. If that particular not term is not given, the meaning, complete meaning of the question may change. Wattmeters are W1 and W2. There are 2 wattmeters, and by using that 2 wattmeters we have to measure the 3-phase power. Out of the following options, the total power in the circuit is not given by. So this type of brainstorming points can be introduced in the MCQs, so that while we read this particular question in hurry, definitely this not particular word can create a jumbling. Okay, so you should go for each and every word properly in the MCQ up to the specific full stop. Now the options. The first option is W1 plus W2. That means whatever the 2 wattmeters we are going to use, summation of that. Definitely it is a correct option for measuring the power. But what is our question? Our question is not used. That means this is a correct one. W1 plus W2 is a proper method when we use a 2 wattmeter method. But here it is not a correct option. Second one is W1 minus W2, subtraction of the 2 wattmeter reading. This type of method is not used to measure the total power. That means this is the wrong method to measure the total power, but it is used or it is asked in the given question. That's why this option is correct. W1 minus W2 is not given the total power. Third option is square root of 3 VL cos phi. Again here, what is VL? Line voltage in the 3-phase supply. What is IL? Line current in the 3-phase supply. Cos phi, that is a power factor. You should go for the each and every term. Root 3 VL cos phi. Again it is a correct option. Correct option for what? It is a method by which total power in 3-phase is given. But it is not asked in this one. That's why it is a wrong option for this question. This is a correct method, but option is wrong here. And the fourth one, last one, 3 VPH IPH cos phi. Again, what is VPH? Phase voltage. What is IPH? Phase current. You should also know or try to build the relation between IPH and IL, VPH and VL. You should go for each and every part of the option also. For which answer, for which question this option is correct, you should go for that one also. So here 3 VPH IPH cos phi. Again, this is nothing but the total power in the 3-phase supply. That means this is given the total power in the 3-phase supply, but in this particular question, in this particular MCQ, it is not a correct option. Why it is not correct option? Because it is used, it is applicable. It is nothing but the total power in the 3-phase supply. So that means there are 4 options. But out of that 4 options, 3 methods are used to represent the total power in 3-phase, and W1 minus W2 is not used. That's why this particular option, W1 minus W2, is correct option for this particular question. This same question we can reconstruct in the same manner by removing not word. That means out of following, which are the methods used to represent the total power? So in that one, first one is correct, third one is correct, and fourth one is correct. Only 2 is not correct. So in this particular part, we can prepare a question what we discussed earlier. That means only 1 is true, only 2 is true, 1, 3 and 4 are true, none of above. So in this case, 1, 3 and 4 are true, or we can say that perfect. So such type of questions can be developed, can be built, and this type of questions are brainstorming questions. Definitely you should go for each and every key term, word, character, properties, application of each and every topic. Then only it is easy to create a question. Now we'll just go for the next question. There is one equation. Equation is given. In this particular equation, certain parameters are given. Some variables are given. For example, the equation for 25 cycles per second. 25 cycles per second. Number of cycles per unit time. Frequency. That means frequency is given in this manner. Not f is equal to 50 Hertz. So it is given in the specific time. 25 cycles per second. You should grab this particular point. Current sine wave is there, having a RMS value. What is RMS? Root mean square value. It has some relation between the average value. There is a relation between average value and RMS value. You should also focus on that. Value of the 30 ampere will be. There are certain parameters. These parameters are given in this MCQ. 25 cycles per time, that is nothing but the frequency. RMS value is given 30 ampere, and this particular equation represents the waveform of 30 sine 25 t, first option, 30 sine 25 pi t, second option, 42.4 sine 25 pi t, and the last one 42.4 sine 50 pi t. Rather going for the correct option, you should go for the exact equation of the sine wave. You just reimagine that sine wave with a specific equation, and whatever the information given in the question, try to relate this particular pattern. And from that, we'll just have 42.4 sine 50 pi t is a correct option. Why? Because here frequency is given 25 cycles per second, and the angular frequency here is nothing but that is f, that is a frequency, but that particular value is 2 pi f. 2 pi f. Standard equation is amplitude, either voltage or current, sine omega t. This is the standard equation of the sine wave. So what is omega? Omega is nothing but the 2 pi f. F is given, that is a 25. 25 multiplied by 2, that is a 50 pi t. This is nothing but the angular frequency. That 50 pi t is given only in fourth option, and that's why this is the correct option. You should go for each and every option also. Why this option is not correct for this question? Then what is a question for this option? Try to build up the question. And the last one, we'll just go for that particular question. We are not going to cover all the questions. Here, the last question, how is the form factor? Again, definition of form factor, value of form factor, mathematical equation for the form factor. You should focus on all these things. How is the form factor for sinusoidal alternating quantities? Sine wave AC quantities with Im. I suffix m. What is Im? It is nothing but the peak amplitude of the current. Then as the peak value is expressed, peak value is expressed by Im, then what is the value of form factor? There are 4 options. These options are given by some specific formulas. Definitely form factor is given by Kf. So here the correct answer is given in option 2. Kf is equal to 0.707 Im divided by 0.637 Im. This is the actual ratio for a form factor. Form factor is defined as Kf is equal to this value. The last option given in the same one is Kf is equal to Im upon 0.707 Im. If we look this option, this is nothing but the Christ factor, definition of Christ factor. Then what is Christ factor? What is the mathematical relation of Christ factor? What is the exact representation of Christ factor? What is the advantages of Christ factor? Application of objective of Christ factor. Such type of questions can be created. So here 4 options are there, but only second option is correct because it is a correct formula for the form factor. Avoid jumbling between the terminologies. Form factor, Christ factor, power factor. Each particular topic, or we can say that key term, has its own identity. Try to focus on that. Okay, so this is nothing but some specific questions what we discussed earlier. Try to focus on the patterns, which type of questions are asked in previous exam, and try to build up number of questions. If you go for the study of 4,000 questions, definitely 4,001st question is again there. Try to develop the questions at your own. Okay, so in this particular video, we discussed the analysis of the question patterns and the typical specific questions from the previous exam for elements of electrical engineering subject. Just try to go for each and every topic given in the syllabus and try to build up the questions at your own. Thank you very much. Wow.